Alright, so we're going to start with, what does manliness mean to you?
Manliness?
Manliness.
I would think it's more of a mental strength, so to speak. I kind of want to throw self-motivation in there.
Well, I guess manliness, growing up, not showing emotion, stoic, provider, being strong.
Being able to provide, being able to, like, if there's a problem, you're able to fix it yourself.
I've noticed men's mental health is something that can get overlooked a lot. With that being said, I wanted to dig deeper into the topic. So I decided to interview 5 men in different generations to see their perspectives on the topic, why they think it's something that can get overlooked a lot, and how they think we can bring change in the future. Are you nervous?
Wait. Dude, it's so stress-free. I don't know why I'm nervous.
Alright, you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah, you ready?
Are you ready?
I am.
Yes. Am I looking at you or am I looking at the camera?
Alright, what was your experience like talking about mental health growing up?
I didn't.
Zero. My parents, they couldn't deal with anything like that. They didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I didn't really bring it up a ton in my household, but I have anxiety, but yeah, I don't really talk about it much.
I thought, like, oh, I should be fine. Like, I'll get through it. I don't need to talk about it. Just, like, push it to the side. Like, hide it under, like, a wall that I put up.
Do you wish it was something you talked about?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. We hardly talked about anything. My parents, don't want to sound like a sob story, but, they very rarely said, I love you.
A couple years ago, my brother passed, so that affected a lot of our mental health. And it's still an ongoing conversation to make sure we're all okay.
How do you typically work through your emotions?
I'd say just kind of getting my mind off of it, either going to the gym or hanging out with friends or just doing something to keep myself occupied so I'm not really thinking about it.
With the children, it's easy. I just put their hands in my hand and just kind of seeing how small it is, kind of puts everything in perspective, really helps.
It's usually the gym.
The gym, actually. It's like my safe haven. Anytime that I have the time to, whether it's after work, before work, or just the day off, I make sure that I decide to go because it's changed my life for the better.
What resources do you feel like are available to you?
Google, I think really the internet's a great source of finding anything. Being a veteran, there's tons of, like there's the Veterans Hospital, they have a hotline you can call. And
Work in a sense, because I love my job. If I'm in my own head and have all these people around me that are just like not realizing that they're doing it, but like caring for me and having fun with me, it makes it a little bit better for me as well.
I feel like I can go to my guidance counselor or just like my friends. Guidance counselor is last resort, but I feel like I'd go to my friends.
Why is a guidance counselor a last resort?
I'd rather talk to someone I'm really close with that I trust to like vent to, and I just feel more comfortable talking to someone I know.
Do you ever feel like therapy or reaching out to help beyond just your family and people you're comfortable with is an option?
Well, I did do therapy. I learned a lot about myself and what were some root causes of things from very early on.
So when you were younger, was therapy not even something that crossed your mind? Was it ever talked about?
Therapy was for crazy people. Like, that's the way my parents saw it.
Why do you think men don't like asking for help, emotionally or just in general?
I think socially it's definitely seen as more weak for a man to do it than like a woman. I don't know. I feel like if I went to therapy or something, like, not that my friends would make fun of me, but like they'd bring it up and I'd just feel weird.
Maybe they feel that it's not a safe space. They feel it's emasculating. They don't know how to express it.
Pride, ego, masculinity, I think will all play a factor in that, to where you just think that you can take care of any type of situation.
Why do you think the topic of men's mental health can get overlooked?
It's just been overlooked because it's not seen as something that is a problem or that should be addressed.
I think gets overlooked more so because the man himself is the one who's not really going out to talk about it.
There's just assumptions that because he's a man, he'll be all right.
I think just historically men don't talk about it, and we're not supposed to talk about it. We're just kind of supposed to power through and just keep on going. And
How do you feel about phrases like boys don't cry or man up?
I think they're stupid.
I think they should be discouraged because they kind of build upon the assertion that men don't face any mental health problems or that they don't have any sort of mental health problems and that they should just work through it. I think in order for men to be able to be more open to getting help and going to therapy, that we shouldn't push those ideas that they don't need it.
When you're getting told that at a young age, affects you when you get older, and unfortunately leads into what we are dealing with now as far as it comes to men's mental health.
I try to refrain from using those terms because, if I wanted someone to open up, that's just going to make them close faster.
There was a time where I didn't cry for like 2 years, and when I did, I bawled. Besides the headache that I had after it, I felt so much more relieved and just letting it out. So as far as the boys don't cry, I wish I cried more, honestly.
How do you think technology has changed the way we view men's mental health?
There's always been suicide hotlines and things like that, but they might be easier to access these days than they were, say, 30 years ago.
Has there been something in your life that's changed your outlook on mental health?
So my brother passed because, again, you can understand up to a point when someone's struggling, but now you're going through it, now you fully understand. So being more aware of what you go through, what everyone around you is going through, it was still important, mental health, but now I guess more important in my life because every day you go through it. Now, you lost someone, that it's not like one day you deal with it, it's an ongoing thing you have to deal with.
Well, in 9th grade, my friend committed suicide, and he didn't seem like the type ever. He'd be the last kid you would imagine to do that or to have depression or anything. The fact that he was still unhappy and depressed, even though he had those things that I had, it just showed that it doesn't matter, what you have, or just because you're a guy, obviously, it doesn't matter. You could still have mental health problems that you don't show to anyone else.
Probably my dad passing. I think personally that's when it started taking more of a toll on me.
worked a job with a couple other young veterans, and just talking to them and hearing their stories, it really helped a lot. Just knowing that, I wasn't the only one going through what they went through or thinking about what they thought about, and just not being alone was very helpful.
How do you think society can break through stigmas surrounding men's mental health?
Just trying to find other ways to continue promoting mental health for men. Just trying to be a little bit more creative to get men more engaged.
Accept the fact that, hey, they need help.
I think they're already doing it just by talking about it. Like this 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, it really wasn't a conversation, and now it seems those conversations are happening.
Parents, I think parents play a big factor into breaking the stigma, almost like making sure when they're at a younger age to let them know it's okay to talk about these certain things. It's okay if you're not feeling okay. The men that have been in that situation who still think that they can handle it, they need to be more open and more susceptible to being able to talk about something like that, to make it more of a normalized situation.
We should just continue to recognize that some men might have mental health problems and that they're just as important as any other problems that anyone else has. And I think if we continue to push that eventually we'll all be focusing on what mental health problems we have and how to address them and get better options. It's not less masculine for you to get help. You're just acknowledging the problems that you have and how to deal with them.
I wanted to bring awareness to the topic of men's mental health so that hopefully men become more open to talking about it. Also, I wanted to thank the men that I interviewed for being so vulnerable. This is a really important topic to me as I've lost a lot of men in my life to suicide. If you or anyone you know is struggling with mental health, please know that there are resources available to you and that you are not alone.